you so much for having me, team, on the New Retail Fest. I'm Manjita, Kausambi, and I'm the founder CEO at Mason. Mason is a no-code automation for stores. We help D2C brands and retailers run their stores on autopilot. And what I'm going to be talking about today is the $1 million chasm that exists in retail today. And before we get started, just a quick intro of who I am. I'm, been a product builder for about close to 14 years now, always primarily in e-commerce enablement. I've built products at IBM Commerce back in Atlanta. I have, built products for a Walmart subsidiary in India, for an Alibaba subsidiary. And so you get the gist, right? And before I'm a product builder, I'm an aunt. I am very involved with my twin niece and nephew. I also am an amateur poet, and I also recently found out that my passion for bringing technology to everyone, there's a term for it. It's called a no-code evangelist, making it simple and making it accessible for everybody. So I'm very passionate, and I identify myself as a no-code evangelist today. Before we dive into what is this $1 million chasm that I was speaking about, I want to start off as a founder. Who am I if I don't start off with a quotation from someone who inspires all of us today? And that's this quote is attributed to Elon Musk, and it says that it's possible for ordinary folks like you and me to actually choose to be extraordinary. And I think nowhere is that manifested more than in retail today. The rise, the explosion of D2C brands is a great example of how ordinary folks can actually choose to be extraordinary and make an impact in whatever they choose to do. And D2C and retail is a great example of that today. So let me start with a question, right? What do you think is the average store conversion online today for an e-commerce store? And I'm not there in person, but I'm going to wait for a couple of seconds to just give you time to think. And I'm pretty sure you were wrong, because an average store online, any e-commerce store, actually the average of conversion is at an abysmal 1.5%, right? Literally, right? And compare that to, the greats, your awesome D2C brands, the best top line D2C brands like Allbirds, Glossier, your Warby Parkers, they convert at like a 5 to 7%. You have the marketplaces, Walmart and Amazon. I mean, Walmart is at 8 and 9%, and Amazon is at a crazy 13%, right? That gap, the spectrum is so wide, and that's because it's hard. Running a store, coming online is easy, but running it, growing day on day without access to great technology, it's a spectrum of 1.5 to 13% of conversions lies a great set of tools that are growing every day. It's actually, the space is called e-commerce enablement, and there's this bunch of great products that new and new are coming out every day. It's one of the fastest growing categories in SaaS, and you have names that you might be familiar with, like a Shopify. Mason's one, and of course names that you might not have heard about, like Loop Returns or Looks, which also help you to manage your growth and your business on a day-to-day, right? So we all love all our great brands, our great stores. They're amazing, right? But as a regular team, right, who still hasn't found product market fit, who's probably just inching towards $1 million in GMV, running the store is super hard, right? And that's because there's a lot of investment in technology and teams that needs to happen for you to run your store well. Let me give a few examples of what it really takes. You need great content creation teams. You need amazing content management platforms, systems, and content delivery platforms, right? You need personalization and search. If I'm searching for red t-shirts, well, you got to show me what's right for me. You have to experiment. That's the core of building great sustainable growth, is experimentation and iteration. Of course, if you're experimenting, you're seeing people are coming, traffic's coming to your store and they're engaging with you, you need your analytics and metrics in place so that you can actually decide what are the next best set of iterations and experiments that you can run. And of course, metrics are meaningless without an insights platform. Metrics are just numbers. You need insights derived out of it. If someone's searching for a red dress around Valentine's Day, should I be leading them to more date-specific products on the store and not just limit them to a red dress, right? These are insights of how you connect data that you see in your store to what is happening around, the trends, the seasons, your customers themselves. What are they doing? Why are they doing? How can I connect it back into a more cohesive insight that I can take an action on? And of course, you need an army of folks, not just data, but technology, business folks to actually do your bundling, pricing, coupons, to manage your inventory, forecasting. Well, there is this whole army that has to come together, synchronized, really coordinating well to actually be able to run your storefronts successfully, to grow online. Setting up a store is just the first part of the whole puzzle. It's growing your store every day that needs the stormtroopers to actually align together and orchestrate and make it happen. So now imagine all of that work as a 5-member D2C brand. It's crazy. It's a lot of work. And that's the $1 million chasm today, right? That's the chasm that we're talking about, is this whole moving from a 5-member team to your Allbirds of the world. There's a lot of technology, a lot of work that needs to come together to be able to help you. John Boyd, he's a military genius, and he came up with this whole loop, which basically means that if you can bring your analysis and decision-making and connect it with action, right, you can really win. Because in a dogfight, when you're up in the clouds, it's not just about the skills that you have of how awesome a pilot you are, but it's actually being able to bring your skills, your actionability into your decision making too. Because you have to constantly be aware of what's happening around you, to your plane, around you, where you are, all of that coming together with your ability to act. So decision and action coming together is what OODA Loop is all about, right? So, and it's as effective, it's a great model for your business growth. It's not just about dog fights, right? So let me explain how. So in a typical, let's take the example of a perishables business, and you're talking about leafy greens and lettuce and and salads and all of that stuff that you have to stay fit and to bring a holistic living into your life. And it's a perishables business. These products, if they don't sell out on the same day, they're gone, because I won't really like to buy wilted lettuce and eat it the next day, right? So what a typical team has to do in this scenario is they have to constantly monitor what is the state of inventory of their products, right? Of their leafy greens, of their microgreens, etc. Then take a decision if the product doesn't sell, below a certain threshold by, let's say, post-lunch. Then you have to take a decision that, hey, but the rest of it, I have to put it on a clearance sale. So it's something as simple as, hey, I just want to clear out inventory. It's 6 to 7 hours a day for the perishables line of businesses every day of the year, 365 days a year, 6 to 7 hours just doing this. And that's just one of the several strategies that you have to run to actually make your business work. Our growth, right? You need a system that brings the decisions that, hey, these are my leafy greens that I got to sell out ASAP, right? You need to bring that decision making to the action that, hey, this is the discount that I'm going to put it on. These are the products. These are, the times in which I want to put that discount. And the action is actually doing all of that, right? Update discount, update creatives, update call out, publish it back to the store, to all my funnels, put out notifications, all of that action. Your decision and the action, just like in UDA, has to come together, right? And that's what no-code automation actually helps you do. You enable business guys to set simple rules like that, right? To update your store anytime your threshold is met. So every time your products are not selling out beyond 2 p.m., run the same, right? That's the power of no-code automation. In a nutshell, a lost user is lost forever. They'll be shopping somewhere else. It's such a competitive world today. The very fact that a lot of us ordinary folks are trying to be extraordinary also means that there's a lot more options for consumers to go somewhere else if they want to, right? And no-code automation actually helps bring the power of execution, of high performance, ability to run a high performing store back into the hands of the business. No-code automation helps you go from ordinary to extraordinary in a minute, right? Thank you so much.